Holy God, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all of our hearts be acceptable to you, our rock and our redeemer. Amen. Okay, we're going to start with a vote, and there is a right answer to this, and the first service did not get the right answer. Am I a mouse or am I an elephant? If you think I'm a mouse, raise your hand. If you think I'm an elephant, raise your hand. I'm supposed to be an elephant, okay? Although like a 10-year-old girl came up to me after the service, she said, well, maybe you're an Asian elephant because they have smaller ears. So I'm an Asian elephant, obviously. Greetings, humans. On this blessing of the animals, Pastor Tom invited us here to explain the 10 Commandments. They don't seem that complicated to us, but you humans are really having a hard time with them, so maybe you need another perspective. As you can see, I am an elephant with a complex, apparently. But we have several representatives from the animal kingdom here, and we will explain one commandment each. So I'm going first. Number 1, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You will have no other gods before me. In other words, God is God. You are not. You are animals, just like us. You are creatures, not the creator. But for some reason, humans have a unique desire to try to be more godlike. You're always trying to be better, never content with who you are. Well, the first commandment, if that's what you want to do, gives some guidance. What kinds of things does God do? God liberates those held in bondage. That's what God does. If you want to be more like God, then work to liberate the oppressed. Help liberate oppressed people, help liberate oppressed animals. If you focus on liberation, if you just focus on liberation, you'll go a long way toward being more godlike. But even if you manage to do some liberating along the way, don't get too cocky. You're still just an animal. You're still not God. None of us are God. Now I'll call on Kangaroo to explain the second commandment. Thank you, elephant, for that unforgettable explanation. Oh, there's a ton of those coming. You get Number 2, don't make an idol for yourself. This means don't pretend you know what God looks like. God probably doesn't look like a human, for instance. God probably doesn't look like any animal on earth or anything we can imagine. Kangaroos don't go around pretending God looks like a kangaroo because that would be silly. When you pretend you know what God looks like, you start to think you can just worship the image that you've made instead of the incomprehensible, indefinable, unimaginable God. And when you start to worship some little image that you made, you're really just worshiping yourself. So don't do that. It won't end well. To explain the third commandment, I'll call on Lion. Thank you, Kangaroo, for letting me jump in. 3, do not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Yeah, so just don't talk so much. Just because you can talk doesn't mean you should never shut up. Y'all talk too much and you get a lot of stuff wrong. Just because you can talk doesn't mean you know what you're talking about. And it certainly doesn't mean you know anything about God. One thing for sure, when it comes to God, if you can say it, it's completely insufficient. God gave most of us 2 ears and 1 mouth. Stop talking and try listening. Now I'll call on Cow. Thank you, Lion, for that roaring presentation. 4, remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Okay, this is simple. Chill out. Please stop working so much. Take a break. For one thing, when you humans work a lot, you get hungry. And when you get hungry, it starts making some of us nervous. You get that look in your eye like you're imagining us as a steak, and it's very uncomfortable. So please stop being so busy and rest. And while you're at it, give us a rest too. Even God rested on the seventh day, so there's another way to be like God. Rest. Help liberate the oppressed and rest. Just take some time to breathe so we can all stop and enjoy this wonderful creation that God has given. Now I'll call on Zebra. Thank you, Cow, for that moving explanation. 5, honor your father and mother, and not just your father and mother. Honor the wisdom of all those who have been before you and been here on earth longer than you. There's nothing new under the sun, so those who have been here longer have seen it all before and can keep you from making stupid mistakes. And by the way, a lot of us animals and plants too have been around a lot longer than you. You might ask our opinion before you go ahead with all your cockamamie plans, like drilling for oil on the ocean floor and cutting down rainforests and blowing up shale to get natural gas and removing mountaintops to take out coal. You obviously didn't check with any of us before doing any of that because we would have told you they were all really bad ideas. You are all acting like spoiled children with no limits and no sense. So honor your ancestors. Honor those who came before you, including us, and stop acting like spoiled brats. Now I'll call on Pig. Thank you, Zebra. You really laid it out in black and white. You're getting the hang of it. I'm going to get everybody involved in the horror of this. Do not murder, number 6. You all like to split hairs on this one. You like to say if you kill someone in a war, that doesn't count as murder. You like to say that if you pollute the planet and cause people to die of preventable diseases, that shouldn't count as murder. You like to say that killing any animal but yourselves, that doesn't count as murder. And hey, maybe it's true, you all are the world's apex predators, but you don't have to be jerks about it. This commandment is about having reverence for all life and having compassion for every living thing that can feel pain. You've turned killing us animals into a cold, heartless industry of torture. You've made the world a more dangerous place for all living things. And somehow you don't consider any of that murder. That commandment doesn't apply to any of that. You're all just too clever for your own good. So at the very least, you don't get to pat yourselves on the back if you manage to not kill another human today. This commandment is about reducing all forms of suffering in the world and treating all living things with kindness and compassion. Try doing that, and you might discover that this commandment isn't about what you can get away with, but how much you can do to reduce suffering in the world. Now I'll call on Frog for number 7. That'll do, Pig. That'll do. Yeah, that's an old movie reference. If you haven't seen it, Babe, watch Babe. 7, do not commit adultery. This one's kind of special for you humans, and it means more than you probably think. It means if you make a promise, keep it. We know you think it's about something else, but if you can keep your promises, if you can keep your vows, everything else is going to fall into place. The rest of us animals don't make promises. We just do what we do. Some are monogamous, some aren't. But you humans, you like to make promises and then you go and break them. Of course, sometimes you'll make a promise you just can't keep. People change. Sometimes we get into really bad situations by making promises. So just do this. Be very careful, very thoughtful, very prayerful before you make a promise and before you break a promise. Now I'll call on Leopard. Thanks, Frog. Your words always make me feel so happy. Choir for the win. Do not steal. Don't take stuff that doesn't belong to you. But this one's complicated because actually nothing belongs to you. The earth and all that is in it belongs to God. That makes it hard because we all need to eat. And so we all have to take some things. For some of us, that means plants. But as a leopard, I need to take the life of other animals just to live. So how about this? Don't take stuff that belongs to future generations. Don't consume so much that future animals, humans included, will enjoy less of the earth's abundance than we all have today. Take only according to your need, not according to your greed. Now I'll call on Giraffe. Thanks, Leopard. That was spot on. Do not bear false witness. We're almost done. We're going to get through it. Do not bear false witness. Tell the truth. Another problem that comes with language, apparently. So refer back to number 3 about not talking so much. If you don't talk, you're not going to lie. But when you do talk, just speak the truth in your heart. Birds sing, dogs bark, cats meow. What does the fox say? That's another old one. What does the fox say? Actually, most of us make some kind of noise. We just take what's within us and we proclaim it to the universe. There's no attempt to deceive. We just express our truth. Maybe humans should try that more often. Be true to yourself. Be true in what you say. And finally, I'll call on Tiger. Thanks, Giraffe. You really stuck your neck out on that one. Do not covet. It's just what it says. Don't covet. This one will help you stick with the one about not stealing, not committing adultery, not lying. This is a big one. And again, remember, nothing belongs to you. Instead, everything belongs to all of us together. Everything belongs to God, and we all live on this earth together. Let's live so we can all enjoy it together. If you try to keep some part of it just for yourself, then someone else will not be able to enjoy that thing. Imagine you're gripping something so tightly that your hand hurts. And now imagine relaxing your hand and letting it go. Nothing belongs just to you. So let's circle back around and summarize. God is God. Humans are not. No animal is God. You can't imagine God. The best you can do is liberate the oppressed and rest. But in all of this, if you're ever unsure what to do, remember what your guy Jesus said. Love. Love God. Love yourself. Love your neighbor. Love your enemy. And while you're at it, love plants and love animals and love the earth. When you feel like making a little image of God and worshiping that, instead open your heart to all of creation and feel the love. When you feel like taking too much, love instead. When you feel like working too much, love instead. When you feel like doing something without asking those who came before you, try loving those who came before you. When you feel like killing something, love it instead. When you feel like breaking a promise, love the one with whom you made the promise first. When you feel like taking something that doesn't belong to you, love. When you feel like speaking anything besides the truth in your heart, find the love in your heart and speak about that. And when you start to think that something belongs just to you and only you, and you want it so bad just for you, remember to love all those who you live with on this planet and let it go. With all your heart, soul, and strength, love. Amen.